What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I am Alex, and we are back with an incredibly special guest. Honestly, it's been too long. I think we've gone a little bit over our month quota, but we're going to fix that right now. Steven from Craven Something Scary has joined, and, well, a couple things. Number one, go subscribe to this man's channel. Great, great guy. As we always say, great channel. And, Steven, it's almost as if they knew that we were going to do this because, well, not them, because this is a leak, but this is definitely a real picture. So the gods are kind of like watching over us right now. So how are you? Welcome, all that stuff. Thank you for being here.
Hey, thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure, man. And you're right, we've gone over. We're a little late. We're a little late on our normal schedule we've been doing the last few months. But it's great to be here, man. Great to be back with you. And the stars aligned, and it just so happened to be the same morning that we're doing the video. We get a new picture that leaks out. It's perfect, man.
It is.
So
It
I
is.
think I think it was meant to be.
So make sure you guys, his at symbol is in the description. Click his channel, subscribe if you haven't. I assume we share the same group for these, but if you haven't, make sure you guys are subscribed. All right, Steven, we got the picture. So this is a spoiler, I assume. Spoiler. Now, once the trailer comes out, not really. So if people start to get after us, it doesn't really matter so much. So here's the thing with this picture. Do we read into it? I guess that's the first question. We didn't even talk about this question off air. Do we read into if it is a spoil? Because I mean, once it comes out in the trailer, as in like, well, certain people are dead, or do you not?
I'm kind of making myself not do that.
Okay.
And the reason I'm doing that is because we just don't know when this picture, or when this scene, I should say, is in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's hard to say, like, this could be before we've even met some of the
True.
characters. So it's really hard to say. So it's tempting, but I'm gonna kind of reel myself in from going too far down that road, and
Yeah.
instead just look at who's here and where they are
Right.
and what could they all be possibly looking at, because none of these people look like they're very happy right in this
That's
scene.
true. I was actually going to comment, but I'll just finish my thought. It
Yeah.
could be something that spans like it's wide because you have them looking far left and far right. Now, why don't you? And by the way, guys, he's going to do a video of his own. You could probably watch these back to back. And I'm sure you'll probably show it, and I'll show it as well. Steven, do you want to kind of talk about the location because you were one of the first people, if not the first, to break the stuff in the first place?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we can start there. So, after pulling up some other photos, when we first looked at this a moment ago, I was like, "Oh, this I think I know. I think I know where this is." And of course, we do see these what looks to be some seats here,
Yes.
right? But what really cued me in more than that, because there it could be there's a lot of places that have seats.
Yeah.
College campuses have seats.
True.
So, but what keyed me in was the back wall behind them. And
Yeah.
I immediately went and dug up the photos. And this is, in my mind, 100, 100, Alex, percent, without question, Le National Theater.
Yep.
This is the theater that they had booked for the entire month of July and August. 2 months that they had booked this theater for filming. And I'm telling you, when you look at the side by sides
Yeah.
of that back, remember Le National Theater, for those who may not remember, because it's been a little while, that that is a performance venue. That's a concert venue. It's not a movie theater
Right.
traditionally. Now, again, it's real easy to roll a big old screen on the stage, and it looks like you're in a movie theater. But
Right.
however, that's why Alex, you and I have speculated. Could this be a play? Could
Yes.
this be a
Yes.
stage production, a stab, or something else,
Yep.
uh, versus a regular movie theater? But anyway, I'm getting way ahead of myself. All I can say right now for sure is that this is at that theater. This is our first ever look into the inside of the theater with the
Yep.
cast.
And as we talked about, even like off, so you see the picture of the theater. It's just they walked in and then they
Hmm.
closed the door. So the doors, it's actually a little scary when you think about that. Who closed the doors on them, or did they close it themselves? Because the doors are definitely, you just see the back of it, the flip
Yeah.
of it, and yeah, and so of course then there's the characters there, and like you said, I agree with you. I think it's hard to figure out, does this picture show us who's dead? It shows roughly half the cast, but that also means half the cast, is not. But like you said, it could be in the middle, it could be in the beginning, and we haven't met certain characters yet. And as I told you, even off camera, like, in any Scream movie, pick any scene, there's always missing characters. And, if those were the only characters left and Ghostface was vanquished and all that stuff, there'd be no reason to have that scene. So there needs to be characters missing from the frame. What do you read into it at all? Like, Gale is clearly not there, and I highly doubt Gale is what they're looking at. So do you read into like Gale, or again, not at all?
Yeah, not necessarily, because if Gail's kind of sticking with the more traditional Gale Weathers role,
Yeah,
she rolls in after stuff happens
that's true.
with her camera crew, and so
Yeah,
this could be before, or this could be maybe something really horrible happened and hasn't even been reported yet. Like they're walking in on it and they're
right.
discovering it, because I keep going back to these faces.
Yeah,
And I mean, look at many of the whole bunch.
yeah,
But one thing I do observe here, Alex, and to your point, there is there are 8 people
yes,
of the 14 cast members here.
yes.
So we're just one tick over half of the
Yeah.
cast present. Now, where are those other folks? We don't know. Maybe they're on stage dead right now, and they're looking at them, or
Right.
one of them. But Gail is definitely missing. But I don't read into it much, because again, if she's going to be her standard MO, she may not be there. She may come right after this scene. You
Yeah.
know, if
What
they
do you
found,
think
yeah,
about what do you think about them all being together just like that? Because you think of 5 even specifically, like there's very few scenes. The hospital, maybe when they all when Sam arrives, when they're explaining the requel stuff at Mindy and Chad's, like those are really, and then the party, but even the party, they're all very much fractured. It is kind of
true.
cool, I would argue, that they're all like in one huge. Now, why are they in a big group like that is also kind of weird too. Like it's exciting to see everybody together, but it's also like, how did you form such a big group like that, or why did you form that group? You know what I mean?
Very good point. Yeah, how come these particular individuals
Right.
are together? The core four makes sense, but if the rumors are true, and by the way, if you look, and I can't tell without really zooming in, so I could be wrong, but if you look at Kirby's belt, if you look to the right, or it's her right, our left,
Yeah.
that either is a zipper from the jacket or what could be the starting of a badge on her belt.
Ooh. Oh shoot.
You see that? It's
Yeah.
that
It
silver.
doesn't. It looks way too bright to be a zipper, but maybe.
So that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking that could actually be the start of a badge that
Yeah.
she's wearing on her belt. But if it's true that she's FBI, that's a rumor. If
Yeah.
that's true, then we know Dermot McRoney. We already know he's a cop. He said it. He's a
Yes.
detective.
Yeah.
There's something going on to have an FBI agent and a New York City police detective with a group of kids.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not. They're not just half ice cream. There's there's something here, which leads me to believe that probably, Alex, the more I think about it, murders have, of course,
Yeah. They
they've
had to have
already
already
happened.
happened at this
They've already
point.
happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've got Kirby and Dermot on the case, maybe investigating, and they get Ghostface calls one of these people,
Yeah.
and they all go as a group. And
Yeah.
Kirby says, I'm going. Dermot says, I'm going too. So maybe this is later on, after there's been several victims. So maybe
Yeah.
those missing folks, some of those missing folks are long gone
Yep.
at this
Yeah. Well,
point.
and you got to go back to the good old Scream 5 trailer of showing quite a bit, and so would not be. This is probably the better way of doing it, because this leaves a lot, even if it is at the end, it still leaves a lot open that we don't know, what's going
Yeah.
on, or characters could just be missing for long periods of time. They don't necessarily have to be dead. So this is the kind of shot that I'm talking about that I would much rather prefer than seeing Sam stab Richie, in the trailer. And so
Yes.
hopefully this is, from the, so part of this. Now, when we got on, I told you about the picture. With the picture came the tweet. that set it as like a declaration, a statement. The trailer is in December. It's coming in December.
Hmm.
So I guess follow up question to you with the trailer, and then also the rumor very heavily is now it's Roman numeral Scream 6. We haven't
Yes.
talked actually at all about it. So
No.
what do you think about the new title?
I love the new title, and I was wanting it to be 6 since it was
Same.
announced back in February, and so I am very happy about it. I love the numeral, the Roman numerals that
Do you
they're
like it how it
using.
comes from the M? Because I think that's
Yes,
yeah, that's kind of
I
neat.
do. It's really cool, and I'm really hoping they do that, like for real.
Yeah,
That they do they put it, incorporate that with the M.
right.
Love it, man. Absolutely thrilled because it is Scream 6. We all know it's Scream 6, and so just that's what we're gonna call it anyway. So I was never calling this movie Scream 2.
Right.
That was never gonna happen.
Yeah.
So I'm very pleased with the name, and happy about it, man. So
Yeah. Same. It does put like a odd light on 5 though to me, where it's like now you got Scream 1, 2, 3, 4, Scream, Scream 6. It just makes 5 really stand out as like that's annoying. That's really annoying. But I've said that before, and people say you can't harp on the title too much. Ultimately, we got what we want with this one. Now
yeah.
it's like, can you retroactively put a 5 on
Oh,
Scream?
wouldn't that be cool? Like,
Because
hey,
well,
it
to
would.
your point, we all
Yeah,
call it Scream.
right.
Scream is Scream 5. Like it just
Yes,
is.
it is.
Even for the purposes of like titles, most people, like even the YouTube algorithm, likes
Yeah.
6 and 5. They don't, Scream 2 would just become confusing for the poor little bots online. Um, what do you think about so like the trailer? Where are you right now? You think early December because there's that CCXP, which is December 1st through 4th, I believe. So do you think
Yes.
it'll be during that? What do you think?
Well, it's possible. I will say that. However, um, now hold on. Is that the one that's in
That
Brazil?
that's the Brazilian one that last year they did the
Oh,
Ghostface pictures and they talked to him a little. I mean, I feel like I
yeah.
made a video on it. I feel like there's history there and they weren't afraid to go somewhat big
That's
last
true,
year,
man.
you know.
That's a good point. If it had been in the States, I was going to say no, I'm not going to lean into that. But the fact that they did debut it over there in Brazil, and I remember the tweets coming out. In fact, one of my first videos, channel was a month old, and I did a breakdown of their description,
Yeah.
and all they said was it's going to blow you away and that kind of stuff. But I said, oh, I got to do a video. But dude, now that it's in Brazil and it lines up right, because the trailer dropped right at the 3 month mark for
Yeah.
5, and that'll be December 10th.
Yep.
So
And so
I
it's
could
it's, it's
see,
like 5 6 days off. It's literally
yeah,
it's next week. It's next Thursday or Friday. Yeah, it's next Thursday, is December 1st. So nuts. It
dude,
would be nuts if literally next Friday you get the trailer.
bro, listen, my birthday is December 5th.
Oh my
What
god.
a birthday present if it drops the weekend of my birthday.
It's a Monday, right?
It's a
December 5th is
Monday.
Monday. So that I mean that trailers can drop on Mondays. Why not?
Dude, that would
Oh
be
my
amazing.
god. It's nuts
Um,
that we're getting this close. And this picture.
yeah.
Now let me just ask. This is just for fun, everybody. What do you think about Kirby's hair?
Um, I, I'll have to say, I I much prefer. I like the shorter hair. I love the shorter hair. I'm just gonna be straight up. Again, it's just hair. Like we talked about a minute ago.
Yeah.
Look, we suffered through Gail's bangs in Scream 3. We still love Gail.
Yeah.
Still one of my favorite Gail performances. So it's hair. But
Yeah.
I'm not a big fan just of the look.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Same.
just I guess it's because when I think of Kirby, man,
Yeah.
I think of her as with that short hair,
Yeah.
and it's just weird,
Well, and even when she was
you
sitting
know?
on the chair when they took that official picture, didn't she have it
Yeah,
like in the bun or like,
yeah,
just keep it like that. You didn't have
exactly.
to
I'm
put
like,
the
there's
wig on.
Kirby. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Hey, I don't know.
yeah,
Maybe it is a little Drew Barrymore. Like maybe they're going for that, or for I
mm,
don't. Is it's the same
maybe.
like shade? It's definitely the same, very, out there coloring and.
Oh yeah,
But
yeah.
no, I mean, I've seen. I think the general approach with this picture is awesome. Like we finally
Yeah.
are seeing some stuff, and then like, what is that Kirby hair choice? It doesn't mean we hate Kirby, but
No,
I
no.
don't think the hair choice is going over well with people. But it is just hair. It is just
Yeah,
hair.
it's just hair. And one thing, Alex, we should point out
Yeah.
in this picture, for people, and people probably noticed it, but I feel like we still should point it out
Yeah,
because if you don't really look closely, you might just miss it. But some people may look at this and say, I only see 7 people,
right. Yes.
but there
Yes.
is an eighth person there, right?
Indeed.
So, and you pointed it out when we first
Yeah,
pulled
I
it
thought I
up.
was the only one, and then I saw Twitter, and like immediately I think of Liana. It doesn't have to be her though. Like nobody talks about Devin. Is that how you say her? Nobody talks
Devin.
about her really like ever. So
Yeah,
like it
that's
could be
true.
her.
Yeah.
Um, and I don't know if you could go based off of height because I feel like they're both like everybody. You know, you and I were joking. Everybody's short. Melissa is the only one that is just towering over literally
Yes.
everybody. She's a tall,
Everyone.
woman.
That's
Um,
true.
so, do you think it's Liana? Does it matter? I mean, well, maybe it does. Is Devin the one that was rumored originally to be her girlfriend, or was I feel like
Trying to
Devin was
remember.
the rumor, but that was I don't
I
know if that
think
was
it
clips
was.
that said that. So I don't know,
Oh,
which part of it was true. But they did hang out
yeah.
a lot, I believe. Devin
Yeah.
and Jasmine were always like together. They would take all these videos, so it wouldn't shock me if they were dating.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
so her not being there and it is Liana does. If I were to read, I agree with you. Like reading into it is tough. If I were to read into anything, if that is not Devin, I think she's dead at this point. I would say that.
And
That'd be
maybe
my
they're
one.
finding her
I mean, she
body.
could be Ghostface, but I would read
Yeah.
into it
True.
originally that she died.
Yeah. I hear you. I mean, that's safe to say, man, because there's 7 people here. Right. There's 7 people that's missing. I think we said earlier, or 6 people.
Yeah,
So
there's
six
four. Yeah,
people,
yeah,
right? 6 people. Yeah. So there's like 6 people missing. Those people are either dead, ghost face, or soon to be victims. And
yeah,
so, I mean, they could be a survivors, but you know, this they're going to be slaughtered. Dude, look, it's 14 people. There's going to be a lot of people that don't make it,
yeah.
and probably another 2 or 3 from this group.
That's what
I
I. Yeah, that's what I told you is that
yeah,
the only worry is if this is the third act. There's a lot of well, I mean, it's positives and negatives because this is a big third act finale. If you kill three of them, you're
yeah,
killing some. See, the issue is right. So you take this group of eight, let's say eight,
yep,
and if this is the ending, and you kill three of them, you could just kill the back row, literally the
true.
back row, and you'd still have
Yes,
everybody that so that's a scary thing where you almost imagine they're going to kill the back row. They're going to be ghost. One of them, maybe even
I would.
Ghostface. This could
Yep,
be a hint that one of the back three is Ghostface more than other people that we don't see.
true.
You know, so
Yep.
that's something. And then you got to imagine, that front two rows. Do you think it means anything? This is really reading into it. Do you think it means anything, literally, how they're lined up? That like Sam and Kirby are the lead, and then Tara is with the other two as the that's really reading into it, but it's all because like we know Sam and Gail get a lot of scenes. I think Melissa herself said that. I wonder if Tara still is kind of like not as main as we want her to be. Does that make
Oh,
sense?
it does make sense.
I mean, it's reading into their positioning, but I have
Right.
had the worry the last couple of weeks. I actually made a video that I'm afraid that Tara could actually die. Like I'm starting to let it creep in, but like
Yeah.
I do get the sense that Tara's not like the main, and it's Sam. But you could swap Kirby
Yeah.
with Tara. It wouldn't really matter.
Probably not, but I think overall though you're onto something because obviously these are the most important characters of the group.
Yeah,
And they're
in the lead.
they're purposely putting them up front, and
Yeah,
I do believe you're right. I think ever since I saw 5, I believe Sam is the intended final
right.
real Sydney Prescott ish final girl.
Yeah,
As much as I wish it was that one over there behind Kirby, Miss Tara, I agree. I think ultimately they want it to be Sam.
yeah,
They want her to be the one, and so they've got her in the front. And I love Kirby's in the front with her.
yeah,
And I think that's it for me. I think it's just reminding us who's most likely to survive in
yeah,
this movie,
yeah.
and it's definitely
It's reading
not the
into it,
back
but
row.
but you do think of like framing in movies, and like most important people are in the front,
Right?
not in the back.
Always.
You know,
And who do
you
we
you're
care
not going to
about
have
as
them
an
walk into
audience?
an unknown location and have
Yep.
Jack Champion lead the group. It just
No.
doesn't really happen. Just
No.
because of the cast list or whatever. They just put the most. So
Right.
it is some. But I don't know if you could swap Kirby and Tara. You could
I
maybe
would.
swap that. It
I
could
think
just be
so.
what they're that maybe the FBI agent leads the group. Something like
Right.
that.
Yeah, it's interesting. She's leading. You would think Dermot would be up there with Kirby as
Yeah.
both being out law enforcement. They
Right.
should be leading because they're armed.
But Sam is a serial killer, so
This is true. I mean, let's be
Or-
honest, man. Sam, after anyone who saw what happened to Richie,
yeah.
they should be
Yeah,
afraid of Sam.
yeah, she should be in the lead, honestly. Just give her a knife and she'll hold her own.
Yes, she will.
Let me just throw out, of course, make sure you guys are subscribed to Steven. Again, click his @ symbol in the description. It'll take you right to his channel. Again, I'm sure he'll have a video. You can watch these back to back. But honestly, man, thank you so much for being on
Yeah,
again. We stretched the 1 month quota, but we made it.
we
And
did.
we'll have to do it in December before Christmas, of course. But
Oh,
thank you
of
for being
course.
here.
Thank you, Alex. Always a pleasure, my friend. And yeah, I'll have you on soon in December again for a
Yes.
stream.
And I
And
think we may have a trailer maybe to talk about potentially.
bro, oh my gosh, the internet's gonna melt,
Yeah.
and we'll be there to light the fire.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to Steven. Subscribe here, obviously, if you haven't already. And we'll see you all for the next one. And go watch Steven's video in just probably a few hours from now. Thanks, everybody.